Let me do a quick video on the thing that some of you guys asked me about, which is the Russian stocks. Whether, it's a good time to take advantage of it. Some of them are really been beaten down. And of course, in the capital markets, people want to take, advantage of the opportunity, advantage of the fear. And, even though, I'm not buying the stocks, I've never bought Russian stocks before. And I see a lot of, talks and opinions in the media about what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. So I don't really want to get into, talking about this because it's, very emotional. Obviously, I grew up in Poland, so seeing that situation is like deja vu. Now I understand, as a kid, why I was supposed to hate Russians, and this whole thing playing out, obviously doesn't make me happy. So first of all, I never bought Russian stocks before. But from what I understand, you can use interactive brokers to buy the stocks. Okay, and of course, that's if you're in the US. If you are in Europe, you might have different ways to access the Russian exchanges. So obviously the easiest way to get involved is to buy the Russian ETF with the ticker symbol BATS. So if you can see here, it's in a free fall. It went from 32 bucks to about where it is right now, which is, about $15. That's probably the easiest way. If you want to get involved in some of the stocks, like for example, the Moscow exchange. This is the Moscow exchange. It was trading at, 182, and then now it's, 95, and it has a PE ratio of about 8 and a dividend yield of close to 10%. So when it comes to the exchanges, obviously exchanges in itself are good businesses, right? Because they benefit from the network effect. More companies that are trading on a particular exchange, more companies want to be listed on the exchange, and stock exchanges usually don't have that much competition. I think there's only one other exchange in St. Petersburg, but Moscow exchange is the exchange, obviously, for Russian stocks. Then you have something like Gazprom. So look at this. It went from 367 to 228, and now it has a P ratio of less than 3, dividend yield of 5.5, and this is a energy corporation, natural gas. So obviously Russia is rich in natural resources, and so what's happening right now is that the commodities are flying high, right? And commodities are priced in US dollars, and Russia's currency is going down because of what's happening. So their costs are going down while their revenues are going up. But then of course you have the whole uncertainty about the sanctions. The Western world is putting on sanctions to punish Russia. But are you going to put sanctions on oil and natural gas? Well, if you do, Europe is using that resource. So there's no right answer. It's like this whole situation is hurting everybody. But sanctions is obviously a big unknown here. Another unknown that you have if you want to get involved in the Russian stocks is that when you buy them from, let's say, Interactive Brokers, is there going to come out some kind of rule saying you are forced to sell them because, you know, your custodian, your Interactive Brokers, you know, is part of, you know, sanctions or whatever, and then you might be forced to sell it. So there is a big risk there. Let's look at another company, Rosneft. It was trading at 600 and now it's, you know, 307. And this is the oil company headquartered in Russia. The PE of 3, dividend yield of about 7. So just like, you know, natural gas, the same situation where oil price is going up, and this whole tension and, you know, that fight is good for the commodities, obviously, because it puts pressure on the supply. But when it comes to the sanctions, that's never an easy answer, because we already experiencing a lot of inflation. And if you put sanctions, that's not going to help the inflationary pressures. And we obviously all depend on natural gas and oil. So Rosneft, it's in this situation where the price of oil going up, it's great for its revenues. Price of ruble collapsing is great for lower expenses. And, you know, the stocks are selling off for obvious reasons. But also, let's think about the fact that even though the foreign capital is selling, there's local buyers, right? And how much lower can those things go before they become so attractive that the local buyers are going to scoop up the deals? That's a big question. Another company, Gazprom, was trading here at 363. Now it's down. So the PE is less than 3. Dividend yield 5.5. Did I already talk about this? Yeah, I already talked about that. Sorry. Let's go on to Sberbank. Sberbank. So it was at 364, and now it's at, you know, 131. PE of less than 3. Dividend yield of 14.26. Now, this is a bank, right? So, as you can see from this article, the sanctions have been already put on this bank. So, that's a big deal, right? That's very, very big negative. So now the question is, if the situation, and I'm hoping it will get resolved, will those sanctions stay? You know, if they don't stay, then obviously it's an opportunity. And you see, before this whole situation, the Russian economy was doing very, very well. So you have a situation where the economy was doing very well. Now those stocks are selling off like crazy for very good reasons. But now, will that good economy, will it get destroyed by the response to what's happening? It's not an easy answer, but you guys asked about the Russian stocks. I understand why some people want to look at them. I understand why they want to get involved. I also understand how some other people, as a way of protesting, would not want to get involved because they don't want to, you know, benefit from blood being spilled. So I also understand that. So I just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts. I'm not really buying anything. I don't have liquidity to take advantage of that, and I just always simply want to stay in the names that I am, which, you know the names, Voxtra, Oracle, Globex. And so I'm just watching it and giving you my thoughts. If you want to get involved, you know, these are some of the names. Probably the best way to get involved is through that EFT, right? And then you had some individual companies that are solid, obviously cheap. Probably the biggest risk, I would say, is your broker, because many of us likely will not have accounts directly with Russian brokers. You have to go through a custodian, whether it's in the US or in Europe, and how are they going to react as this situation continues to progress? That's a big unknown. So just be careful out there, and that's it for this video.